Babysitting Shedeur Sanders isn't Joe Flacco's job as Kevin Stefanski makes QB1 decision, says ex-NFL GM. Imagine stepping into a quarterback room stacked with experience, expectations, and NFL mileage. That's the reality in Cleveland, where rookie Shedeur Sanders is learning under the same roof as Joe Flacco, a Super Bowl MVP and the NFL's 2023 Comeback Player of the Year. Flacco re-signed with the Browns after a late-season surge last year, going 4-1 as a starter and helping push Cleveland into the playoffs. Imagine stepping into a quarterback room stacked with experience, expectations, and NFL mileage. That's the reality in Cleveland, where rookie Shedeur Sanders is learning under the same roof as Joe Flacco, a Super Bowl MVP and the NFL's 2023 Comeback Player of the Year. Flacco re-signed with the Browns after a late-season surge last year, going 4-1 as a starter and helping push Cleveland into the playoffs. Former NFL GM Mike Tannenbaum, known for his years leading the Jets and Dolphins, brought heat on unsportsmanlike radio by doubling down on what that kind of response really means. Joe's job is to get himself ready, not his teammate, he said. It wasn't just a side comment. It opened up an ongoing debate in NFL circles. Then he pointed to NFL precedent. Tom Brady, like a decade ago, came out and said, "My job isn't to get the backup quarterback ready. That's the quarterback coach's job." Tannenbaum made one thing clear. The burden isn't on. Joe Flacco may not directly mentor, but Sanders can still make the most of it. As Tannenbaum further said, even if it's not directly, if I'm Shedeur Sanders, I want to know when Joe Flacco goes out. I want to know what night he drinks. I want to know how he recovers. I want to know how he watches film, he said. I want to know what gifts he buys his offensive linemen. He wrapped it up with a dose of realism. I can't imagine he's not going to help when asked, but I understand the point is like my job is to get myself ready, not my teammate. But that's where this story really shifts, because even with all the buzz, there's a real chance Shedeur Sanders never sees the field in 2024. Browns insider Zach Jackson laid it out bluntly on the Zach Gelb Show. I don't know that either one of these rookies will ever play, let alone this year. And that's not about talent, it's about numbers. The Browns currently have 4 quarterbacks on the roster, and they're unlikely to keep them all. Sanders has shown promise during rookie camp and early OTAs, but he's still sharing reps with Dillon Gabriel, a third-round pick whom the Browns, per Jackson, fell in love with the intangibles. That love, it turns out, was analytics-based. Jackson explained the front office had Gabriel charted in a positive light after his Senior Bowl performance and pre-draft visits, even though I don't think any other team was taking him in the top 100. Still, no matter where anyone stands on the mentorship debate, the real pressure is playing out on the field, and that's where things get interesting. Inside the Browns' quarterback shuffle, what's really at stake? The Browns' QB room isn't just crowded, it's layered. And Kevin Stefanski, Cleveland's head coach, has to make tough calls that could shape the entire season. According to Jackson, the battle is split into 2 tiers. It's Flacco versus Pickett for the starting job. And then it's the 2 rookies positioning themselves against one another to be ready. Let's break that down. Joe Flacco, who joined the Browns in November 2023, went 4-1 as a starter down the stretch, throwing for 1,616 yards and 13 touchdowns. Kenny Pickett, on the other hand, started 12 games for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2023, posting 2,070 yards and 6 touchdowns before being benched. He was later traded to the Philadelphia Eagles in March 2024 and then moved again to Cleveland, where he's now competing directly with Flacco. Sanders, for now, is an outsider looking in. Jackson was realistic. He's only been in the building like 16 days at this point, right? I like what I see from Shedeur, but I don't know that either one of these rookies will ever play. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel's early practices haven't impressed. Jackson didn't hold back. Dillon Gabriel does not look like an NFL quarterback to me. Like 0%. Even though Cleveland's front office valued Gabriel's intangibles, Stefanski will have the final say. And while buzz suggests Pickett may be edging ahead for QB1, nothing's been confirmed. At this point, the only thing clear is that Sanders and Gabriel are in a fight for survival, not stardom. So, how does Shedeur Sanders respond to all this? He studies. He absorbs. And while Flacco might not be pulling him aside to give daily lessons, Sanders can still treat the veteran like a walking blueprint. As Tannenbaum emphasized, you want to learn as much from him as possible. With a quarterback room this dense and unpredictable, Sanders may not get a shot in Week 1, or even this season. But if the Browns need a spark late in the year or face another injury wave, he'll need to be ready. Until then, all he can do is stack practice days, learn the playbook cold, and maybe figure out what night Flacco goes out. Ex-Titans GM confirms immediate Travis Hunter plans as Liam Cohen makes something clear on rookie. The Jaguars didn't just need new talent this offseason, they needed answers. After ending the 2024 campaign with a 4-13 record and a depleted offense, Jacksonville knew it had to arm Trevor Lawrence with more than just hopes and maybes. Enter Travis Hunter, the do-it-all phenom from Colorado, who became the centerpiece of their draft strategy. Jacksonville gave up significant capital to move up for him, and now every practice rep, every personnel meeting is centered around how to use him. Hunter isn't just a rookie. He's a former Heisman Trophy winner, a player who lined up at wide receiver and cornerback for Deion Sanders and made both positions look effortless. But versatility comes with questions. Is he a WR? A corner? Both? As the Jaguars shape their 2025 identity, the buzz around how they'll deploy their top pick has only grown louder. And finally, someone with insight has spoken. It seems like they're going to play him at wide receiver mostly, and then, he'll dabble some over at corner, said John Robinson, former Titans GM, during an interview on DuckTales show on X. He went on to compare Hunter's potential role to the likes of Troy Brown and Julian Edelman, who contributed in two-way capacities during Robinson's time in New England. But this isn't a gimmick. Robinson made it clear that Jacksonville sees Hunter as a real offensive threat, and not just another flashy name. In the same segment, Robinson added, they gave up a lot of draft capital to go up and get Travis. They believe in him. They think he's a generational player. That belief is rooted in creating options for Trevor Lawrence. Most of these good quarterbacks and good teams, they have more than one receiver, Robinson emphasized. Defenses, they'll just tilt the coverage to wherever the primary target is. Well, now Jacksonville has Travis Hunter. With Brian Thomas Jr., another 2025 draft addition, and Christian Kirk returning from injury, the Jaguars now have a trio of weapons to test defenses from multiple angles. Beyond his on-field versatility, Hunter's energy and attitude have caught the attention of his teammates and coaches. Head coach Liam Cohen remarked on Hunter's exceptional endurance, stating, he just kind of goes, runs a route, runs back. You could tell he's in football shape. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence echoed this sentiment, highlighting Hunter's enthusiasm and work ethic. He's got a lot of juice, and he can run all day. A lot of energy, I love it. Good energy, always dapping guys up, just bringing juice every day. And while the GM's words and his team set expectations, it's the Jaguars' own coaching staff that's putting those plans into motion. How the Jaguars really see Travis Hunter. Cohen's vision for the rookie. If Robinson laid out the blueprint, Liam Cohen, Jacksonville's new head coach and offensive architect, is already building the foundation. Speaking to the Florida Times-Union earlier this week, Cohen confirmed that Hunter is being trained exclusively as a wide receiver in OTAs, at least for now. We won't put him in that situation to have him do both in the same session, although I'm sure he'd probably want to, Cohen said. He still meets defensively every day, so he's getting the mental part of it. That line says it all. The Jacksonville Jaguars are being smart, not experimental. While Hunter's two-way talent remains part of the plan, the team is prioritizing his development at WR, letting him master one system before asking him to juggle both. Cohen praised his rookie's adaptability, calling him an elite mover and noting his football IQ as being well beyond his age, that it's a calculated move that speaks to Jacksonville's broader offensive plan. Christian Kirk, the team's WR1 in 2023, missed much of last season with an injury. Zay Jones is no longer on the roster. Brian Thomas Jr., while explosive at LSU, is still acclimating to the pro level. That opens the door for Hunter to contribute right away, not as a gimmick, but as a genuine WR2/WR3 who can stretch the field and punish single coverage. The Jaguars know what's at stake. Trevor Lawrence is entering his fourth season, and after last year's regression, just 21 touchdowns to 13 interceptions, pressure is mounting. The Jaguars' front office actively surrounded him with playmakers, and they made Hunter their biggest bet yet. Whether he lines up outside or drops into coverage later in the year, his presence could redefine how Jacksonville attacks. Cohen and Robinson may not wear the same headset, but their message is aligned. Travis Hunter is here to make plays, and they're going to let him. The two-way fireworks might still be on the horizon, but for now, Jacksonville wants one thing: to get the ball in Hunter's hands and let the kid cook.